When I think about my childhood, I always picture long summer days that seem to last forever. I grew up in a quiet little town where everyone knew each other and the air always smelled like grass and rain. My friends and I used to ride our bikes around the neighborhood until it got dark, and my mom would yell from the porch, "Dinner's ready!" It was simple, and I didn't realize back then how special that kind of simplicity was. We didn't have phones or tablets, so we had to make up our own fun. We'd build forts out of blankets, climb trees, or spend hours by the creek pretending we were explorers. I think those days really taught me how to be creative. I didn't need much to be happy, just a few friends and a good story to play out in my imagination. At school, I was always that kid who loved art and reading. I remember sitting in the library after class, surrounded by books that smelled a little like dust and paper, and feeling completely lost in another world. I had this one teacher who really encouraged me to write, and I think that's when I started to realize how much I loved telling stories. My parents both worked a lot, so I spent a lot of time with my grandma. She was one of those women who never held back what she thought. If she didn't like something, she'd say it straight to your face. But she was also the person who taught me how to bake and how to laugh at myself when things didn't go right. I remember once we tried to make cookies and I accidentally used salt instead of sugar. She looked at me, took one bite, and said, "Well, these'll wake you up in the morning." We couldn't stop laughing. That's one of the expressions I love, hold back. It means to not say or do something that you really want to. My grandma never held back, and maybe that's where I got a bit of my honesty from. When I was about 10, I had a best friend named Sarah. We did everything together. We'd hang out after school, go roller skating, talk about our crushes, all the typical things little girls do. One summer, we decided to start a detective club. We actually made little notebooks and tried to spy on the neighbors, which sounds creepy now, but at the time, we thought we were brilliant. Hang out is such a common phrasal verb, and we use it all the time in American English. It just means to spend time together, usually to relax. Even now, when I say I'm going to hang out with friends, it kind of takes me back to those days. Another thing I used to do as a kid was write letters, actual letters on paper. I had a pen pal from another state, and we wrote to each other for years. Waiting for that letter to show up in the mailbox was the best feeling ever. That's another phrasal verb. Show up means to appear or arrive. I think there's something magical about waiting for something instead of getting it instantly, like we do today. I also remember how dramatic everything felt when you're little. If a friend didn't talk to me at recess, I'd be devastated. But somehow, by the next day, we'd be laughing again. Kids are great at moving on. They get over things so fast. That's another phrasal verb. Get over means to recover from something, like a problem, a disappointment, or even a cold. I wish adults could do that more easily. As I got older, I started to figure out who I was, little by little. That's something you never really stop doing, right? Figure out means to understand something or find an answer to it. And honestly, I'm still figuring things out. Life keeps changing, and so do we. That's part of what makes it interesting. Sometimes I look back on those years and I can still feel the smell of summer rain, the sound of my bike tires on the road, the way my friends and I would laugh so hard we could barely breathe. Look back means to remember or reflect on the past. And when I do, I realize that even though I couldn't wait to grow up, there was something really beautiful about not knowing what the future would look like. My childhood wasn't perfect, nobody's is, but it taught me to appreciate small things, to laugh when plans fall apart, and to stay curious. I think that's why I love sharing stories here. Stories make us realize how much we all have in common, even if we grew up in totally different places. So, yeah, that's a little piece of my childhood. The places, the people, the smells, and the lessons that still follow me around. And now I'm curious, what about you? What would you like to see next here on the channel? Do you want more stories like this, or maybe something about daily routines, work life, or American culture? Tell me in the comments. I always read them, and I'd love to know what you'd like to watch next.